So welcome and thanks for your time today, Conrad.
Pleasure.
I'd like to start with how you first come to dance tango.
Okay. 97, I was doing lots of salsa and Latin dancing, and but as a background, I was a musician when I was young, and we used to play lots of types of music, but tango really stuck in my mind, and I wanted to sort of branch out away from Latin. So I just mentioned to my then salsa teacher, whether we could learn some tango, and no one was doing it in Brisbane that I knew of.
Yep.
And she then said no, I don't know how to. Then she got hold of some videos, and this was early in '98, and that's how we started. That's how I started.
Right.
But I wasn't aware of any tango before.
Okay. So what sort of music were you playing?
When I was young, you mean? I was, this was back in the 60s and 70s. At weddings, you did play a lot of sort of continental stuff like ballroom, but it would be ballroom tango, not Argentine tango. Cha-cha, valses, that sort of social dancing.
Yeah.
Not folk dancing like that. It's more continental, because I've got an Italian background, so the sort of weddings we used to do would be more European style.
So what instrument did you play?
I played clarinet and saxophone.
Okay. Very good. Do you still play?
No.
Okay. A definite
No. I know. If you want to know, I used to play in the symphony orchestra as well, so I was quite skilled at the clarinet. But surprisingly, I'm actually very introverted, and the idea of taking solos in the symphony orchestra, because I was first clarinet, I think I found it a bit too stressful, and as a lifestyle, I didn't like the nights and the weekends, the ways away at Christmas, etc. So at the age of 24, 25, I gave it up.
Okay.
That was it.
Big change.
Big change, and I became a scientist instead, which suited my introverted personality.
Right. Okay. So you were playing tango back in those days?
Yep. 60s and 70s.
Okay. All right. So were you dancing at that stage as well? Ballroom or any other salsa? Or?
No, I was just a typical teenager, rock and roll, Beatles, that sort of stuff. I wasn't interested in dance as a form of expression. I think I was just too busy studying and working while I was going through university.
Okay, so how long ago did you start dancing? Was it salsa you started with first? Or?
It was in '97 that I really started, getting serious about wanting a form of expression.
Okay.
I'm not very sporty, so getting a form of expression that combined my musicality and made me more sociable was important to me. I was getting to my, approaching my 50s, so I just felt I needed to socialise a bit more.
Okay, so you started dancing salsa in '97. How long after that did you first tango?
A year.
Okay.
It was in February 1998 that we actually started learning tango from videos.
Yep. And so is it predominantly tango you dance now?
Yes, I do dance, still dance Latin, but only for fun. But that's it, because once I started tango, it seemed to take over both my musical interests, and it provided the physical stimulation that I needed as well.
Okay.
It's always been music. And what is it about tango music that I find interesting? Well, as a musician, I just found and I still do, that tango's got this, it captures your emotions very quickly, but the emotion is always ambivalent. There's always a bit of sadness in tango, and there's always a bit of joy in tango. You can't get a tango which is purely sad or purely happy. And the music itself is very interesting. The composition, the structure is very interesting. So that was my first. It wasn't that I wanted to dance. It was the music that captivated me.
So how would you describe the way you dance, or how does that music impact the way you express yourself?
Absolutely, yes. It's a good question, because I do respond basically to the music. I don't think of my body first, and then I dance. I don't do that. So I always spend, I'd say, the first few bars just withdrawing and allowing the music to enter my brain and my feelings, and then I go. So the music for me is what is really the overwhelming reason I dance tango. And the music actually then dictates what my body does, and of course with my partner, etc. But basically, I immerse myself in the music, and I find that totally captivating.
Very good. So how important is tango to you?
Yeah, well, it's now become my sole form of musical and I'd say physical expression as well as emotional, because the unique thing about tango is the communication that you have to have with another human being, and it's the only activity that I know of in terms of social activities that you have to be in total agreement with another human being, and you have to be very, very close physically. You have to forget yourself in order to allow the other person into your own space. And therefore, there's, for me, the communication aspect and the emotional communication becomes extremely important. It's become like an addiction, really, because if I don't dance tango for a while, I sort of feel not only the music is missing, but the emotional inner peace that I get from it. It grounds me, and it sort of focuses me into a part of human nature which is optimistic. You know, like you can forget everything when you're dancing. And not that I have terrible evil thoughts or anything, but you know, it becomes a world of reflection and cooperation and goodness. You know, it's a good thing to do, and negative thoughts and energies and attitudes are just dissipated when you dance. There's no room for negative attitudes if you're really dancing tango, because if you immerse yourself in the music and then you allow another person to communicate with you, there's no room for anything else.
A beautiful thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you remember what it was like when you first started dancing tango?
Yes, it was all physical because it's like tango is like it's a cross between gymnastics and chess, because gymnastics where you have to allow the body to learn patterns that the body is not typically doesn't do apart from walking. But even walking is actually becomes unnatural, and tango tends to distill it into a more simple, natural form. But apart from that, your body and your muscles have to learn particular patterns. It's like gymnastics, but it's like chess, because each body movement is also a dance movement, which can be used in conjunction with another move that you're planning, or by itself. You can either move the pawn, or you can have a few moves lined up. But each physical movement in tango is like a chess movement, and that's why when I dance I can improvise, because I don't learn sequences, but each body movement. Once I got over the gymnastics phase and my body learned particular basic moves, then I use that in an infinite sort of collection and interaction to give me a unique dance every time I dance.